This episode is an ESL listening practice for intermediate learners. You will hear a natural conversation with clear pronunciation and everyday English. No tests, no pressure, just listening. Let's start.
Hello and welcome back to ESL listening practice.
Hello, everyone.
You know, if you're tuning in today, I'm going to make a little bet about where you are in your English journey.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I bet you're in that strange, sometimes incredibly frustrating middle ground.
The plateau.
The plateau. You've got the textbooks, you've done all the grammar drills, and honestly, you can probably understand almost everything I'm saying right now.
Right. The input is crystal clear. You can watch Netflix, you can read the news, no problem.
The input is flowing in just fine. It's the output.
Yes, the output. It's that classic scenario of, I get it, but I can't use it.
Yes. The input is like high definition, but the output feels like a dial-up connection from 1999.
You hear the dial tone and the static.
You do. You open your mouth to speak, and suddenly you're just buffering. You feel slow. You feel clunky.
And you know the word. That's the frustrating part. It's right there.
It's on the tip of your tongue. But by the time you actually get it out, the conversation has moved on.
It's moved on. You missed your moment. It's what we call the intermediate plateau. But, more specifically, we're dealing with the velocity gap.
The velocity gap. I like that.
And that is exactly what we are tackling today. We're not talking about learning more vocabulary lists.
No more flashcards.
No more memorizing the third conditional. We are talking strictly about velocity. How do you take the English you already know and get it out of your mouth faster, smoother, and without that that rising sense of panic?
And without sounding like an auctioneer who's had way too much coffee. We're talking about natural speed, right? Not just noise.
Gasoline. Yeah. Controlled momentum. That is the goal.
Okay, so to kick us off, we have to address the elephant in the room. I think a lot of our listeners feel like speaking fast is, a talent. Like having blue eyes or being tall. You either have the ear and the tongue for it or you don't. Is there any truth to that at all?
I'm so glad you asked that. I'm going to go ahead and just bust that myth right now.
Please do.
Speaking speed is not a talent. It is a mechanical and cognitive skill.
Okay.
Think of it like playing the piano or typing. Nobody is born typing 100 words per minute.
Right. I definitely wasn't.
No. You train your fingers to find the keys without looking. Speaking is exactly the same. It's a muscle memory issue, not a DNA issue.
So if I feel slow, it's not because I'm bad at languages.
Not at all.
It's just that I haven't trained this specific muscle group.
That's it, exactly. You've been training your reading muscles and your grammar muscles, but you haven't hit the gym for your velocity muscles.
Your velocity muscles.
So today we're going to act as your coaches. We're going to break down the psychology of why you hesitate, and then we're going to give you 5 very specific, very actionable strategies to start speeding up your processing.
I love that. Let's start with the why, because I think understanding the mechanism behind it really helps take the pressure off.
It really does.
Why does an intermediate learner, someone who objectively knows the language, still freeze up?
Okay, so it usually comes down to what we call the processing bottleneck.
The bottleneck.
Yeah. When a native speaker talks, the process is streamlined. I have an idea, and boom, it goes straight to speech. It's a direct line. Idea, arrow, mouth.
But for a learner, it's more like a detour through a maze.
Exactly. We call it the 4-step trap. And this is where all the lag, all the buffering happens. Step 1, you have a thought, but you don't have it in English.
Right.
You have it in your first language, your L1.
Okay, so I'm thinking in, say, Spanish or French or Japanese. I want a coffee.
Right. That's step 1.
Yeah.
Now, step 2 is the heavy lifting, translation. You have to actively drag that concept across the language barrier into English. This consumes a massive amount of cognitive energy.
Oh, yeah.
You aren't just communicating, you're working as a simultaneous interpreter for yourself.
Which, we should point out, is a job people get paid a lot of money to do because it is absolutely exhausting.
And it is incredibly taxing. And then, just when you think you're done, you hit step 3, which is the real killer of speed.
Let me guess. The internal police.
The internal police.
Yeah.
The grammar police. I know them well.
Me too.
You've translated the sentence, but before you release it into the wild, you audit it.
You check it.
You check it. Wait, is it make a coffee or do a coffee? Is it in the morning or at the morning? You're running a spell check and a grammar check in your brain in real time.
And that's the silence. That's the while you're staring at the person and they're staring back at you.
That is the buffering. That's it.
Yeah.
And then finally, step 4, you speak. So while a native speaker takes 1 step, you're taking 4.
It's like trying to run a sprint while carrying a backpack full of bricks. It's not that your legs are weak.
Not at all.
It's just that the load is way too heavy.
That is a great analogy. It's like a computer with way too many tabs open. The processor itself is fine, but you're running too many background programs.
Exactly. So the mission for today's session is figuring out how to close those tabs.
Yes. How do we skip steps 1, 2, and 3?
Okay, well, the most obvious tab to close seems to be the translation tab. And this leads us to what you call strategy number 1. We hear this advice all the time. Stop translating in your head. But that feels a bit like telling someone who is stressed out to just relax.
Right. It's easier said than done.
So how do we actually, flip that switch?
You're right. You can't just will yourself to stop translating. You have to train it. And the key is you start small. You don't wake up one day and start debating philosophy in English in your head.
Probably not, no.
You start with what I call the environment scan.
Okay, walk us through that. What is it?
It's basically a mindfulness exercise for your language brain. Look around the room you're in right now. Pick an object, a lamp, a window, a chair.
Okay.
When your eyes hit that object, your brain naturally wants to label it in your native language.
Yeah.
You have to intercept that signal. You have to stop it.
So I see the lamp, and my brain instantly wants to say lampada in Spanish, but I have to force it to just say lamp.
Yes. You're sticking a little English Post-it note directly onto reality.
Yeah.
You're bypassing the native word completely.
So you're creating a direct link.
A direct link. You want the visual stimulus,
Right.
the lamp, to trigger the English word immediately. Table, computer, phone.
It sounds almost childish, doesn't it? Just pointing at things and naming them.
It feels incredibly basic, but you are literally rewiring a neural pathway. You're teaching your brain that image English, not image native word English.
I see.
You can do this walking down the street, car, bus, tree, angry dog.
Hopefully not too many angry dogs. But I see the point. You're basically turning your daily life into a giant, interactive flashcard deck.
You are. And once you've mastered the nouns, you level up to short thoughts and needs.
Okay.
You move from objects to your own sensations. You start to narrate your internal state.
So instead of just coffee, it's I'm hungry or I want coffee.
Yes. Keep it that simple. I'm tired. It's cold. I need coffee. These are functional, survival-based sentences. You're not trying to compose a complex novel in your head.
Just narrate your immediate reality.
You just narrate your reality. The goal is to make the English voice in your head the dominant one for all these little micro moments.
I can imagine the hard part here is just being consistent. It requires you to be really present and mindful of your own thoughts.
It does. It requires active effort. But then we get to the third level, which is the ultimate test.
What's that?
Immediate reaction.
Oh, this is where the real truth comes out. Like when you stub your toe, you don't usually shout in your second language.
No, you don't. The native language is deep in our limbic system. It's tied to emotion.
Yeah.
But you have to try to train this. If you drop your pen, force your brain to think, oops, or oh no, or even just man, instead of your native equivalent.
Or something a little stronger, depending on who's in the room.
We'll keep it polite for now, but yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. If you can train your instincts, your knee-jerk reactions to be in English, you have won half the battle. You're creating a direct line from event to English speech.
Okay, so that handles the input and the internal monologue. But let's be honest, we don't speak in just one-word nouns. We speak in sentences.
Right.
And that's where I feel like a lot of people get bogged down. They try to build a sentence word by word, like laying bricks for a wall.
And that is absolutely the wrong architectural approach. Which brings us to strategy number 2. The power of chunks.
Chunks. It's not the most elegant word, is it?
It's not, but it is the secret weapon of fluency, I promise you.
Okay.
Think of it this way. If you try to build a house, brick by brick, placing every single brick perfectly, checking if it's level, adding the cement, it takes forever.
That's what most learners do. Subject plus verb plus adjective plus preposition. It's slow and exhausting.
Exactly. But native speakers, we don't do that.
We don't, no.
Native speakers use prefabricated walls. We use chunks.
Prefabricated walls.
These are groups of words that just always go together. We don't think of them as separate words. We think of them as a single unit of meaning.
Okay, I need some concrete examples here. What does a prefabricated wall look like in language?
Okay, take a phrase like, to be honest. If you analyze that grammatically, it's an infinitive verb plus an adjective. A learner might try to assemble it piece by piece.
Right.
But a native speaker just treats to be honest as one giant word that means I'm about to tell you the truth.
I see. Or like, what I mean is.
Exactly. What I mean is, you don't construct the grammar of that clause in the moment. You just pull the whole phrase off the shelf and use it.
At the end of the day.
As far as I know.
In my opinion.
These are all chunks.
And the benefit here is purely about speed. Just saying 4 words is 1.
Well, it's efficiency and speed. First, you're retrieving 1 item from your memory instead of 4 or 5. That saves a ton of processing power.
Okay, that makes sense.
But secondly, and this is the real trick, it buys you time.
Ah, okay. How so?
When you start a sentence with a chunk like, well, what I mean is, your mouth is on autopilot for about 1 or 2 seconds. It takes time to say that phrase. While your mouth is busy saying that pre-programmed chunk, your brain is free to plan the next part of the sentence, the really important part.
That is genius. So you aren't actually pausing and creating that awkward silence.
Right.
You're filling the air with a useful, natural-sounding chunk while your brain loads the next data packet.
Exactly. It eliminates the silent. It makes you sound fluid. It connects your ideas. We call it the Lego theory of language.
Yeah.
Stop playing with the individual tiny bricks.
And start using the big pre-assembled pieces.
You got it.
I really like that visual. So, okay, we are thinking in English to reduce the translation lag. We're using chunks to buy us processing time. But we still have that nagging voice in our head. The step 3 problem, the grammar police. The voice that says, is this sentence perfect? Did I use the present perfect continuous correctly?
This is probably the biggest psychological barrier of all. And this is why strategy 3 is about adjusting expectations. We need to radically shift our priority from accuracy to fluency.
Fluency over accuracy. Now, I have to play devil's advocate here for a second.
Go for it.
Isn't that risky? If I'm in a job interview or a big business meeting, doesn't fluency over accuracy just mean I'm going to confidently speak bad English?
That is the fear, absolutely. But let's look at the reality of communication. There's a trade-off. In a conversation, time is a huge factor.
Right.
If you pause for 5 seconds to find the perfect preposition, you have broken the flow. You've created friction. The person listening to you gets, well, they get uncomfortable.
Yeah, they do.
They start wondering if you didn't hear them or if you don't understand. The silence is actually louder than the mistake.
That's so true. The silence is louder than the mistake.
Precisely. It is so much better to use the wrong preposition quickly than the right preposition after a long, painful silence. If you say, I arrived to the airport instead of at the airport, is the meaning clear?
Yes, 100%. I know exactly what you mean.
Exactly. But if you say, I arrived, long pause, at the airport, you've made me do work. You've made me wait. You've made it awkward.
So you're saying that fluency, the flow, the rhythm of the conversation, is actually a bigger part of what we perceive as good English than technical grammatical perfection.
In spoken English. Absolutely. 100%. If you look at transcripts of native speakers talking casually, it's a mess.
Oh, it's a total mess.
We use sentence fragments. We restart sentences halfway through. We misuse who and whom constantly. We dangle prepositions at the end of sentences.
We really do. If you were to write down word for word what I say in a casual conversation, it would look terrible on paper.
But it communicates perfectly. The grammar police in your head are holding you to an academic standard that even native speakers don't follow in casual speech.
So you have to fire them?
You have to fire them.
Yeah.
You need to give yourself permission to be imperfect.
That's a liberating concept. Permission to be imperfect. It sounds like something you'd say in a therapy session.
It is a bit. Because perfectionism is just fear in a tuxedo. It looks all fancy and impressive, but it stops you from moving.
It paralyzes you.
It does. Imagine you're riding a bicycle. If you stop to check the tires every 2 meters to make sure they're absolutely perfect, what happens?
You fall over.
You fall over.
You have to keep moving to stay upright. Speech is the same. Momentum is what keeps it going.
Okay, so we're letting go of perfection. We're prioritizing momentum. But like you said at the beginning, this is a muscle.
It is.
We can't just think our way to speed. We have to physically train. What is the gym routine for our mouths?
This brings us to strategy 4, the gym for your mouth. We need active practice techniques, and specifically, we need techniques that involve time pressure.
Time pressure. That sounds stressful.
It has to be stressful. The stress is the entire point.
Really?
Yeah. When you have unlimited time, your brain defaults to its safe, slow habits. Translate, check grammar, speak.
The 4-step trap.
The trap. But when you have no time, you force your brain to strip away the non-essentials. It triggers a kind of fight or flight response where you just grab the nearest English word available and go. Okay, so give us a drill. What does this actually look like in practice?
Okay, drill 1 is the 30-second answer. You need a timer. Just use the one on your phone. Ask yourself a simple question. Like, what did I do yesterday?
Yeah.
Or what is my favorite movie and why?
Got it.
Start the timer. You have exactly 30 seconds to answer.
And the goal is just to fill the time.
The goal is continuous sound. You cannot stop speaking until that alarm goes off. If you finish your story in 10 seconds, you have to keep talking. Invent details. Lie about what you did. Repeat yourself. I don't care. Just keep the motor running.
That sounds exhausting, but I can totally see how it forces you to bypass that internal filter.
It breaks the filter. And then, when you're ready, you have drill 2, the 1 minute nonstop.
Okay, same concept, but longer.
Same concept, but longer and a little harder. Pick a topic, say why I learn English, and speak for 60 seconds. Now, here is the key. You will forget a word. It's going to happen.
And that's usually where we freeze, the panic moment.
Right. But in this drill, you are not allowed to stop. So you have to use a skill called circumlocution.
Circumlocution, that's a fancy word. What does it mean?
It just means talking around the word. Let's say you forget the word for umbrella.
Okay.
You don't stop. You say, that thing you hold over your head when it rains so you don't get wet.
It's like playing the game Taboo.
It's exactly like taboo. And guess what? Native speakers do this constantly. When we have a little brain fart and forget a word, we don't just stop the conversation cold.
No, we just describe it.
We describe the thing until the other person guesses it or we remember it. Practicing this skill is so crucial for speed because it gives you an escape route when you get stuck, so you never have to hit the brakes.
I love that. You're building emergency exits into your speech. Okay, so those are output drills. But there's another technique I've heard you mention called shadowing. And I feel like a lot of people do this wrong.
They do. Oh, they really do. Most people think shadowing is listen and repeat. They listen to a sentence, they pause the audio, they say the sentence, and then they continue. That is not shadowing.
So that's just repetition.
It's just repetition. It's useful, but it's not shadowing. Real shadowing is speaking simultaneously with the audio.
At the same time.
At the exact same time. You are the shadow. You move when the object moves. You don't wait.
So you're basically trying to talk over the speaker in the recording.
You are trying to match them perfectly. In real time. You play a short clip, maybe from a podcast or a TED Talk. First, just listen to it to understand the meaning. Then you play it again, and you try to say the words at the exact same time as the speaker. Match their speed, match their emotion, match their pauses.
That sounds incredibly difficult, like really hard.
It is chaotic at first. You will stumble, you will mumble, it will feel like a mess. But think about what's happening physically. You are forcing your mouth muscles to move at a native speed. You are surrendering your own rhythm and you're adopting theirs.
It's almost like lip syncing, but you're actually making the sound.
That's a great way to put it. It builds muscle memory. Your mouth learns what natural English speed feels like. It teaches you how words blend together.
Which leads perfectly into our final area, doesn't it? Strategy 5, input. Because if we want to speak fast, we have to understand what fast actually sounds like.
Exactly.
And this is where this idea of connected speech comes in, right?
This is a huge topic, yes. A lot of learners try to speak fast by just saying the individual words more quickly.
Right, but that just sounds robotic.
It sounds robotic. Native speed comes from linking, from connecting.
Linking. Give us the crash course.
In English, we don't like spaces between words. We just smash them all together. A consonant at the end of a word will link to a vowel at the start of the next one. Get out becomes get out.
Right.
But we also change sounds. Do you want to becomes do you wanna? Going to becomes gonna.
What are you doing?
Becomes
What you doing?
exactly. Now, here's the trap. If you only listen to learning English materials, the ones where everyone speaks very slowly
Yeah.
and clearly.
The light book is on the middle on table.
Right. If that is your only input, your brain gets lazy. It expects that artificial clarity. But the real world is messy. To speak fast, you need to listen to fast, natural English.
So we need to step away from the slow podcasts for a bit and listen to real people talking over each other.
You need game speed practice, podcasts, interviews, unscripted YouTube videos. And here's the rule for this kind of practice. The no pause rule.
The no pause rule.
When you are listening specifically for speed training, you do not stop to look up words.
Ooh, that's going to be hard for the perfectionists out there.
I know. It's tough. But if you stop every 30 seconds to check a dictionary, you are training your brain to process English in chunks of 30 seconds.
I see.
You need to train your brain to process a continuous, unbroken stream of sound. You have to get comfortable with ambiguity. Maybe you only catch 80% of the words. That's fine. Focus on the flow, the emotion, the general idea.
It's about building your listening endurance.
Exactly. You are training the ear-to-brain processing speed. If you can keep up with a fast podcast, eventually your speaking speed will naturally try to match that cadence. Input fuels output.
Okay, so let's recap the toolkit we've built today. 1, we're stopping the translation by labeling our environment and narrating our day. 2, we're using those Lego chunks to build sentences faster and buy ourselves time.
Right.
3, we're prioritizing flow over perfect grammar, giving ourselves permission to be imperfect.
The big one.
4, we're hitting the gym with timed drills and shadowing. And 5, we're consuming high-speed, authentic content without hitting the pause button.
That is the hardware and the software update. But there's one final piece. The operating system, if you will.
Confidence.
Confidence. And I want to be really specific here. I don't mean arrogance. I mean the absence of fear. Fear acts as a physical brake pedal on your speech. When you are afraid of making a mistake, you literally tighten up. Your breathing becomes shallow. Your brain freezes.
We've all felt that deer in the headlights moment. It's a physical sensation.
It is. So the final shift is psychological. You have to realize something very, very important about the person you're talking to. They are not grading you.
They are holding a red pen.
They are not.
Yeah.
They honestly don't care about your prepositions. They care about you. They want to know your story, your opinion, your idea. They are listening for connection, not for correction.
That is such a crucial perspective shift, isn't it? We get so self-absorbed in our own mistakes, thinking the other person is analyzing our every word.
Yes.
But usually they're just waiting for their turn to speak, or, they're genuinely interested in what we're trying to say.
Exactly. If you speak with energy and you smile and you use your hands and you have good momentum, people will forgive 1,000 grammar mistakes.
But if you speak perfectly correct sentences with that painful slowness and fear, people will they'll tune out.
They will. Connection over perfection. Always.
Connection over perfection. I think that's the mantra for today.
Speed comes naturally when fear goes down. Trust the tools we've talked about. Trust your brain. You know more English than you think you do. You just need to get out of your own way.
So we want to leave you with a specific challenge today, because information without application is it's just noise, right? So here's the homework.
For the next 1 hour, so immediately after this session ends, I want you to narrate your life internally. Do not let your native language enter your brain. If you go to the kitchen, you think, kitchen, water, glass. I am thirsty. Where's the milk?
See how long you can go. It might be 5 minutes. It might be 20. But just try to hold that English mode for as long as you possibly can.
And when your native language sneaks back in, and it will just gently push it aside and switch back.
Don't get frustrated with yourself.
No, treat it like a meditation.
Yeah.
Just bring the focus back.
Oh.
The more you do this, the faster that translation gap closes. And remember, you're at B2. You have the tools. You don't need more books. You need more momentum.
You've got this. Trust the process. Stop panicking and start flowing. Thanks for tuning in to ESL Listening Practice.
Keep talking. Goodbye.